Hi, crafty friends. I'm here to announce a really exciting new project for me, and I think it's big enough that I'm actually scaring myself out of actually doing this project announcement, because I'm kind of surprised that I'm going to have the time and ability to do this. So let's get down to what it actually is.
All right. Plan A, which suffered from not happening, was to go here. Gideon. See if I could maybe even volunteer here. It kind of looks amazing, all the things that they're doing.
But then COVID came along and kind of destroyed everything.
I decided to try the at-home version. I really like the 15th century. It's kind of my jam. And I'm Swiss, so I tend to like things around Switzerland. I definitely like French things, and I like German things, and I like Flemish things, and narrowing it down isn't necessarily the problem. The problem was figuring how to do this reenactment. And yeah, there's so many different ways to do it. I could pick a time period and pick a specific event, but then someone smarter than me, hopefully the person who will be joining me on this endeavor, suggested that I try a manuscript challenge. So off I was to try and find a manuscript to copy and reenact of sorts. And I'm just going to say that even when you bother to do a good job of making Pinterest pins, I don't know if you're like me. I got a little bit lazy and I started taking the pins and not necessarily making sure that they went back to the original source. So I'm sorry if I get in trouble for this, but Pinterest is a little bit evil because I didn't do the greatest job of making sure that I linked back to the original source. And then if you ever get on Pinterest, you get in the loop where suddenly you're no longer looking at, the thing you're supposed to be looking at. Yeah. Trying to find pictures of 15th century women doing something is frustrating. You have to be very specific when you're doing your searches because apparently all 15th century women did was sit about. Unless you bother to actually narrow it down. What a giant pain. So after a bunch of sadness trying to find something that worked for the 15th century time period that I wanted, I happened to find an ad for a sample book of the Tequinum Sanitatis. If I'm mispronouncing that, feel free to make fun of me or, note in the comments of the correct way to say this in Latin. I'm making things up as I went. It's just an amazing medical treatise on everyday medieval life and how to live it in a healthy way. And there are so many different versions that this was the best rabbit hole I could have asked for. So thank you, Wikipedia, for helping me find different versions of this particular book. And there's some pretty hilarious pictures. Uh, the other thing to be aware of is there are multiple versions of this book. Uh, Basically, I guess it started in the 11th century, and it was the book to own. I love this picture. It's hilarious. Just going through the different versions, it's more or less the same book, just redone from different time periods. And thank goodness for this website here, um, Medieval Manuscripts Unlocked, because they actually went through and, tried to give us some images from the different time periods that they existed. Uh, yeah, this made it really easy. And thank you for actually giving me the original source of where these things came from. Uh, just being able to know that this comes from the French National Library means there's a chance that I can actually go find it instead of, doing the thing where I cry a little bit and try and figure out if I can actually even show this image online. it's been great to be able to just click on the different versions and then look, there's actually stuff there that I can use. So going through this book, basically each page is a treatise on things that are healthy and things to be aware of, and kind of the dangers of certain plants and when certain plants are good for you and what are the dangers of those plants. There's even information on sleeping, what clothing you should wear, what food you should eat, what food you shouldn't eat. This thing is a rabbit hole of amazingness, and I highly suggest everybody go snoop at it. Like seriously, find a version online and just go down this rabbit hole. I've just started and I'm kind of in awe of why didn't I know about this? The first version that I actually found for myself, I've decided that I'm going to take one of the pictures. The first version I found, thank you to Good Cookery. You guys are amazing. If it wasn't for the stuff that you write, I probably wouldn't have a good enough Latin skill to understand what I'm looking at. But thank you, thank you, thank you for having this online for the people who are just figuring this out. I am actually going to show you the one that I originally found. This guy. It's about linen clothing and, the nature and what's good about it. And I feel a little bit better about, you know, linen clothing. It feels like it's something up my alley. It's found in all versions of the manuscript that I could find. Sorry that this one's a little bit smaller, but this is the first one that I found and I went, oh, I can handle this. And yeah, look at this. It actually explains why it's good for you. Here is another version. If you notice, it's pretty close, but it's again from that same treatise book. I'm in awe right now. And the version that I'm decided to go with, it is from the 1450s in Germany. And yeah, this is it. This is totally the one that I want to use. And I will show you why. So this is a manuscript image that I am going to try and reenact, recreate, challenge myself. I'm going to pick a person from this manuscript to try and become, so to speak. First of all, I'm going to choose an outfit. Now, I'm likely to go with one of these ones, probably this blue one, because it reminds me a lot of pastel, which is woad. Uh, I never knew for a very long time that the dye that I've always known as pastel was woad. I always thought that they were different plants, and it turns out, different languages say things differently. It's kind of funny. Um, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go with this one because I also want an excuse to make myself a pink gown. I love this color. I get that it's probably madder that hasn't been fully brought to that red color, but I love this color. But I also love the blue one. So I think I'm gonna make either this one or this one. I'm not sure which. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to try and reenact this image. There's a few remarkable reenactors out there that make that outfit from their manuscript challenge and then find a way to like fit themselves in it. I think Rosalie's Medieval Woman is probably one of my favorite examples, but I want to try it. Maybe I can do a photo snapshot. Maybe if I get lucky enough, maybe I can do a video. I don't really know about my skills at this point. I think photo's probably a little bit more realistic. And then the other thing I want to do is these ladies here are definitely sewing something. Either they're sitting there talking about the weave of the fabric or they're actually sewing something. And the other images, it does imply that they are sewing something. I actually also want to make a linen garment as medievally as I can while I'm doing this reenactment. So I'm gonna go somewhere that isn't my house, set up my camping stuff, and make one of these. I think I'm probably going to go with an under chemise or camise or whatever you guys want to call it. It varies by time and place and period. I'm just going to call it chemise. It's likely the thing that I'm going to make, and I'm going to try and make it as medievally as possible. Yeah, I am really excited to just go down the rabbit hole that is this garment. Oh man, like there's so many things about here. And notice like their hair is done up in this like, is that a braid? Is that a roll? What is that? And her hair is covered, but why isn't everybody else's? Yeah, there's just so much to look at this picture. I'm overwhelmed in a good way. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Oh, and yeah, this reenactment, the time that I have to do it that I've scheduled, it's in June. As I'm recording this, it's the end of January. So it's like February in like a couple days. And yeah, I got to get going. So I am going to document what I work on and see where I get. I'm going to talk about the projects. For example, I got to pick one of these dresses, either this one or this one, I think. Probably this one. Man, I'd love to use some woad or pastel. I'm so used to calling it pastel. I need to get that made. I need to get a set of these sewing shears. Wow, yeah. I also need to figure out how to set up my stuff in this kind of formation. I don't have a green wall with windows, but we'll figure something out. And then I will continue to give everybody an updated status, for the quicker updates. I'm going to have to do something to give people update or keep myself honest. So I'm going to keep doing video updates. And I'm also going to do the, kind of the smaller updates. I'm going to, load it on my Instagram, but I'm also going to use the hashtag 15C in theory, because that's the goal. Hey, and if anybody else wants to, follow along and make their own version of this 15th century manuscript challenge, please use this hashtag so I can also see what you're doing. It would be amazing to see other people give this a shot and see where they, come out. And I am still recording this right now because that means that then I don't actually have to start working on the project. And oh my God, I got to find a space to set up the camp because I don't have that place in my yard to set it up. I don't have room in my house to set it up. I need to source things. For example, oh man, do I need new thread? I need those scissors. I'm officially freaking out. um, yeah. So follow along. You'll see me lose my mind. Oh man, I think this is going to be fun. And there are so many great sources out there. And thank you very much for the Bibliothèque Nationale de France for making this particular manuscript open or public domain so other people can use it. And most of their stuff is, but oh my God. Yeah, I'm a little bit distracted right now, but in a good way, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go freak out now. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to see me descend into chaos, panic, and disorder and see where I get. All right. Thanks, everyone.